Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself upstairs on the show's Port Bear after the disastrous evening for our club and Scottish football in Europe as Rangers crash out in penalty kicks away in the Czech Republic. Really, I've no words, Port Bear. Disappointed, aye. Angry, aye. You know, and obviously we laughed at our rivals, but them who laugh last sometimes laugh longest, mate. That was appalling, mate. Appalling. And we'll go through the match after you have your quick say, mate.
Aye, fact, mate, absolute fact. Been a long time, a very long time since I felt this flat after what I've watched. If I'm really honest, mate, from the start of the season, as a new manager come in, still not seen any improvement.
We're getting worse, mate. We're not getting any better. We're getting worse.
Yeah.
We don't look like scoring. Look, the game started and we'll put Churkwani, who played away in Europe, in a position, mate, in a 2 with Dan Neil in Poland, and it flopped. And we done it again with Churkwani playing his back to goal, who was totally ineffective. We've got Nadiri, who, let's be honest, he runs about. We've given the boy a chance. He's absolutely no ability. We've got 2 wide men at attacking players that you might play in certain games with no defensive thoughts in their head. Yeah. So we've actually ended up playing a 4-2-4 with the boy Neil and Dragovic in the midfield, mate, who have got to cover everything. By the way, the 2 of them were appalling. Tonight. Look, Sterling didn't offer a lot, wasn't great, wasn't bad, you know, because they didn't have a lot to offer, really. The 2 centre-backs, well, McCann was by far the pick of them. Fernandez done really, relatively nothing wrong. And I thought Penright should have put her out of the piece. Right? They bring on the subs at half time. We've changed shape. We've done all sorts. We've then got no legs to bring on. And look, the players were appalling. And one of the things I would do, I would get down to that medical centre and find out if they do a colour blindness test. Because we as a collective cannot pass the ball. The manager, it was one of the most inept, technical and tactical performances I've ever witnessed against a team. We get beat 7-1 with Liverpool, mate, at Ibrox, and we were all gutted. We played better than we did tonight.
Aye, there's no excuse, not sure. There's no excuse. Yeah, again. I spoke to you last time I was on last Thursday when we were discussing the game, and I felt the sort of selection, and even the selection, like, you know, it's at Murn. I've always said we lack legs in midfield, and that in the last game sort of slightly improved. But I'm still struggling up to figure out what Derek McInnes is trying to. What's his message to the players? He'd a full week. Now, he said in his presser, oh, it's not very often we get a chance because we've got a game every couple of days and we've got 4 games in 12, 2 or 4 games in 12 days. This is great to get a good chance to work on our shape, to work on this and work on that and work on the next thing. Okay, what was the work on? What was the work on? Did they give him a week off?
Well, I'll tell you what they were working on, mate. They couldn't. Their shape was appalling, and we went with that team, mate. But if you're playing anybody in that position, try to join them with the centre forward. And by the way, I thought the 2 substitutes had come on. I want to give a special mention to Shankland and Asgard, mate. You can't have the 2 on the park at the same time, mate. They can't run. Just be honest. Yeah, they can't run.
Yeah.
To play Shankland, you have to have him in the box and make the ball buzzing about the box. If you want him to play, it's no good. The boy can't run. I know he cares. I know he's one of us, but he's not going to cut it, mate. Asgard, he came on the park, couple of shimmies left and right, slows the game right down. Look at me and does nothing. He can't run, mate. Young Finlay, don't want to get into the penalty kicks. Anything can happen to anybody, but young Finlay, at least there's a bit of endeavour. But he's decision making, yeah. The whole collective, the decision making. Penrice, I thought he was poor tonight. We've enjoyed him. Poor tonight. Corner kicks, no idea. What is the so-called set piece coach then? They've changed the rules at throw-ins. We don't seem to know. We can't take a throw-in. Yeah, we can't take a corner. We can't take a free kick. We get a free kick with a minute to go to try and stop the game going to extra time with no idea what we're going to do. I'm worried, I'm concerned, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't know where it's gone for Derek. No, I don't know what it would achieve. But he's lucky. Because if he'd have been there a year and this season would have been unfolded like it was, mate, the clamour and the knives, the stones would have been out, mate, sharpening the knives, mate, because we are getting worse. I don't know if he's lost the dressing room. I don't know if there's something wrong. But there's no shape, there's no cohesion, there's no togetherness, there's no spirit, there's no skill, there's no pace. It's shocking. What?
Mate, I thought I was watching the day we sort of initiative doing where I stay, and it's to get the older generation out their seats, and it's called walking football. That's what I was watching last year. As you said, there was no pace, there was no, endeavour. Again, everyone was walking pace. Now, we discussed this again. It's the game's simple last year. Pass and move, and what you need to do is make sure you've the least amount of touches on the ball as you can. Again, Fernandez, again, Dan Neil, all 1, 2, 3, 4 touches on the ball, and then their heads up, they're looking about, and by the time they look up, there's no space, there's nobody trapping for the ball, there's nobody looking for the ball. Your quota was marked on the right, there was just nothing, mate. There was just nothing. They were, yet again, a well organised, drilled team. They're not a great side by any matter of means, but they're organised, Oxshire, and at least we can see what they're trying to do.
Can
I
I
could
ask
see
you,
what
can I ask you a
their
question,
tactic
Port?
was.
Can I ask you a serious question, mate? Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you remember us having a chance of their goalkeeper making a save in 120 minutes of football?
Not one.
Right.
Not
So,
one.
and then we've changed the tactics and we've done different things and created nothing, mate. He gives the midfield away too easily. I mean, I go back to the two wingers. When you play the two, right, apart from Finlay and you bring him on, you have no legs to bring on. So all of a sudden, you have no legs. Yeah. The guys haven't got. If you're playing a 4-4-2 and you're trying to keep it tight, and that's your in the first half. Now, the argument will be they were on the park and we've seen it out. Then we take them off at half time, bring 3 players on. It's a hot night, and we can't react when we need legs brought onto the team later on in the match. It's shambolic, mate. The coach is appalling. The tactics are appalling. And the guy's struggling, mate. He's drowning. He's drowning now. I said Derek was a good fit. What I meant was the way he conducted himself. As soon as the games have started, it's been appalling, mate. We're in a worse position than we were this time last year under Russell Martin. Yeah, Russell Martin he got a couple of results. Struggling, mate.
Yeah.
Struggling.
Well, I'll put it back to you. As Derek McInnes, his depth Oxshire, is this job just too big for him?
Well, I'll put it back to you, mate. Man, we've got a wee bit of spin and a bit of swerve on it. Let's get the phone lines open and let's hear what the people think.
Let's do it.
Let's hear from you. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
What did we use? Did we use six ups? I think we did, who came on? All right, Port 6 subs. I'm
Yep,
not
yep,
yeah,
bang on.
aye,
Three at half time, yep. And then the other 3 for the second part of the game.
yeah.
And again, can I just add to that? What message you sending out to? And I know we didn't play well the first half, and maybe he's trying to change the shape. But what message are you sending out to your the 3 guys you're taking off? Obviously, you've played the game. That is so disheartening. That's one of the most embarrassing things to happen as a footballer at any level.
What's
Just
it?
getting hooked at half time.
What's he centre that boy Dan Neil, by the way, who I thought was a lot of ghost tonight, mate. But I don't
Yeah,
think shape helps him. I thought he was appalling because he gave the ball away, and another one that's ponderous and too slow, mate. Yeah,
too many
yeah, and
touches. Yep,
yeah, too many touches. The boy looked like a young boy. The boy who wrote for Dragovic, yeah, he looked like a
young
young boy.
Banjo. Yep.
And then we've got a big, powerful guy who could help you in midfield and make it a solid 3. Yeah, and where have we got him playing, mate? Where have we got him playing?
Aye,
So
next
one,
to the striker.
aye, a 4-2-4, mate. Yeah, and then they've got all that space and win the midfield, and then become narrow in defence, and all they have to do is turn out. It's a shambles. He's clueless, and if the first thing I do, mate, but honestly, mate, if you accept that Derek McInnes isn't going to be sacked, they have to get rid of if the guy that's meant to be coaching the set pieces, he's brought in shambles, and they need to get somebody else in that coaching staff who's more proficient, and it might cause a rift. I don't care, mate. I'm not interested in
No,
people. I'm only interested
no.
in your team, and if they don't like it, well, there's a door, isn't there? But it's a
Well,
shambles, mate. I don't know how we go to this, mate. We're in a spiral, mate, that it's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Well, can I put it this to you? If that was a foreign coach, right? If that was another foreign coach, Oxford, they would be calling for his head, innit? Is that right?
They are, mate.
I know,
They are.
you know what I mean? And I know they're
People
going to
are.
be calling for Derek's head tonight. But if that was a foreign coach doing the exact same thing, or a coach for England, whatever, they would be
I'm going
wanting
to.
Rangers fans would be
I'm,
having him out the door.
I'm going to tell you now, mate, that I don't know where it gets us, mate. I don't know where it gets us if you did it. I'm going to tell you now, if Derek had been and done a year, and we'd had the pre-season and the games that we've all witnessed, mate, yeah, there would be a clamour because we played nobody yet, and we've been atrocious. Anyway, we've been going a long time, but David's joined us. Evening, David. Good to hear from you, mate.
All right, guys.
Well, how do you define all right, mate?
I know. It's just it's really embarrassing now. But as Rangers go for embarrassment to embarrassment without any loss of energy to create the next one, it's been like this for years, and the rot's finally set in. It's just come down to the fact now. Like even my dad, he's a lifelong Rangers fan, can't be bothered watching them anymore. It's got to there now. It's so bad. But I think come up May, we're going to have to go a full season with a manager. I think that's what's caused the problem. Switching managers every 6 months has just led to backlog of players that don't fit.
I get that, mate. I get that, and it's a spiral. I get bringing in players, getting rid of players, and you get out, and it's a hard game, mate. And that you have to give people time. And if you go back to Graham Souness and his first few weeks in charge, mate, we went through in penalty kicks against East Fife in the League Cup tie, and we went on to win it. And people would argue that was a springboard to the start of the Souness revolution. So if we hadn't won the penalty kicks, things might have been different. But however, David, the football we're watching is atrocious, mate. Atrocious.
Yep, agree. There's always been wee things here and there you could maybe go right. If X happens, if these players play their best, then we could get a result. There's nothing I can pick out in that team now. Absolutely nothing. And we're absolutely honking all over the pitch. It's not just one position. It's everywhere. It's I always say, like you can let in as many goals as you want, but see if you're putting goals in the back of the net, you'll end up winning more than you lose. And I think it's like 2 or 3 goals we scored through open play. That is honking.
Did we look scoring the night, mate? Be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's I think it's like 2 or 3 they scored for open play. That's just no happening.
Yeah, shocking, mate. What would you do, mate? What would you do if you're Americans? You know, what'd you do?
I mean, I don't even think you can blame them because like the amount of money they've flung into this team, even just this season, has been quite a lot. If you think about it, it's just been it's either recruitment or identity or character wise. There's just something crucial missing there, and you can't. I don't think it's Derek because obviously he knows what it is to be a Rangers player, a Rangers fan, a Rangers manager. Shanklin knows what it's there to be a Rangers player, a Rangers fan. There's other players in that team that know what it is to be a Rangers guy. There's something fundamental missing there. Maybe it's just been that malaise over time. Well, it's just we've not won anything in so long that it's set in that's okay. That I can get away with no putting in a hard shift here today, and the manager will get sacked, and I'll just get another job eventually, and I'll get shifted to another team. That's what it's been happening. I think it's like 6 or 7 managers we've went through since Gerrard. The last manager we had for more than one season actually managed to win something. We need to stick with somebody so they can actually build an ethos in the team. That I know it's going to hurt, but we're going to have to go through a season like this where the pain is going to be hard, but it's going to have to build something. If you're changing managers every 6 months, you're just going to keep going through that cycle until you get a wonder manager, and that's 1 in a million.
By the way, that's common sense you speak, but football doesn't work on common sense, and unfortunately, it's a results-driven industry, and it's mental port. The manager might be telling them to do X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, and they don't do it, and then the manager pays with his job. So it's a mental industry, but there's no excuse for people. There was one thing happened tonight. Connor Barron, near the end, I think it was the first half extra time, I can't remember the second half, did a nice wee bit of touch, burst through the 2 guys and he's running away. There was a pass to the left to keep the moment going. And I'm not having a go at Connor, but it just sums up where we are. The decision is make the pass. Runs get fouled, the whole move's gone. But decision making is atrocious, Port. Atrocious.
I'll say, listen, just to touch on David's point, right? Now, I've always said this Rangers man thing, in my opinion, right? It's my opinion, is a myth, right? I'm a Rangers man, David. You're a Rangers man. Oxford Rangers man. You know, Shanklin's a Rangers man. Is it doing us any good? Is it doing us any good? The fact that because the Rangers men were expecting us to improve, the current Rangers men that are there, i.e. Shanklin, Derek McInnes, have taken his back away. Shanklin got a ball played up to the night, guys, and his first touch was shocking. He couldn't tap a bag of totties. I'm not kidding. He couldn't tap a bag of totties.
He's been atrocious since he came in the door, mate. Atrocious in the games, mate. He's been atrocious. Don't cut him any slack. You can only critique his performances. He'll know that. He'll know that, and he might be suffering. But we're suffering watching it. He's not the only one I may add, but he's atrocious.
No.
He's been atrocious. His work rate, he doesn't look fit. There's a lot wrong, mate. There's a lot wrong. Anyway, we've been joined with my good friend Ross. Evening, Ross.
Ox, all right? How we doing?
No.
No, I know. I know.
How we doing, Ross?
What? How we doing, son?
I'm good, mate. I'm good, thank you.
Right, get it off your chest, mate. Lie down in the black couch and get it off your chest.
Just not good enough, mate. Can't they pass a ball? Like, can they pass a ball within 120 minutes? Can they have a shot and goal? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's not good enough.
Aye.
Am I right?
What would you do, Ross? How do you go to this spiral?
The recruitment team's got to go. Because the players that we've brought in are just, they're clearly, they're not good enough. You can't blame the owners because they're putting their money in and we're spending £1 million. That, what is it? The boy for Korea, 9 million. The boy for America, Venezuela, 9 million. £18 million they're putting it in. I know that they're not here now, but when have we spent that kind of money in the last few years and we've achieved better?
Listen, mate, if I was the two guys watching, if I was watching that tonight, I would want to see, I would be checking to see if I've signed the contracts.
Correct.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't, if you had your choice, they've no ties to a club, mate. Watching that tonight, you go, what am I signing for? Because that was appalling, mate. From start to finish, from midfield to forward and creativity. That was one of we've had downs, mate, and you've had fluke games and games that went wrong. Yeah, but collectively, from midfield to forward, that was one of the worst performances I've ever witnessed, mate. It was appalling.
Right. And we're only 1-0 up after the first leg, and you've got to go and try to bury it. No, hang on and just like, sorry, we'll just maybe play for nothing each, or we'll just try and nick through it. It's no right. Oh, I'm on my holiday. I'm over in Sweden now, and I'm sitting in a bar watching that on my phone, and I'm thinking, what is going on? What is going on?
It must be happy hour there if you're in a bar.
Must be. Aye, it's the only thing that put a half smile on my face. Aye.
I got your message today, mate. We all come through, but listen, mate, I don't know what we do, mate, because obviously there'll be people saying sack the manager. I don't know what that achieves, mate. If somebody can tell me what that achieves, David, he's left the call now, but David's saying we need to give him a bit of time. That's a common sense approach, but when you watch that tonight, common sense goes out the window. Your emotions kick in.
You're right, and we're stuck with the same players until when? January. So it's not going to get any better.
Mate, who's going to take any of the players off him? See if Gassama wants to go, if Nadiri wants to go, Majovski wants to go. To be fair, we can't really blame him. He's not a chance. Anybody wants to go. Fernandes wants to go. Yeah, they've depreciated tonight in value. And what would we lose if any one of the players left our club? Would you be upset? Would you have to scrub out your tattoo?
You're right.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You wouldn't have. You're not getting any tattoos with any names on it, are you?
No. Can I ask you a question, mate? Is one of the problems that right? I'm going to use Ryan Nadiri as an example here, right? We got him for the third tier in German football. Oh, sure. What are we expecting when we're going and buying players for the third tier in German football? Come into Glasgow Rangers, right? The club that we are, and then expect this boy to go and even at Conference League level, which he played tonight, and he was still awful. Europa and eventually Champions League. What are we expecting of you if you're signing players for these divisions? Lower league divisions. What's the what outcome are they expecting, mate? I can't get why they're shopping in these markets, and I think that's one of the big problems. If you try to unearth, the old saying, by polish it harder if you get a diamond. Not for the third division in Germany, mate. I just think we're shopping in the wrong markets.
If you rub it hard enough, you know what that makes you. Ross?
Yeah.
But yet again, boys, it's a lot of money being spent on him. £5 million for what?
And the wages he'll be on, mate. Nobody's going to take him off you, mate.
Correct, and they're going to sit there and sit there and sit there. But you're right.
Yeah, Well, look, we'll get the team tonight. Penrith's coming anyway. I'll come back to it. But I think we've been joined by Mark. Evening, Mark. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, all right. I called in quite a few times during the Russell Martin era, because I knew what I was watching was beyond the pale, and it wasn't what I recognised as a Rangers side. And unfortunately, lightning has struck twice, and the same deja vu is happening. I was 100% behind McInnes. I thought it was the shrewdest move by Rangers, bringing him in and getting rid of Danny Rowe. But my God, this is so bad, and it's all on him. It's 100% on McInnes. His formations have been terrible. How, from a player's perspective, can you follow that? There was about 6 formations during the course of that game. Each half, and I'm including the 2 halves extra time, he changed the formation. And the craziness is, he actually got something that worked, which was a 4-3-3. But he started the game playing a 4-2-4 with Chuck Whanney as the striker. And then in the second half, it was 3-5-2. Chuck Whanney was the holding midfielder. They are all over the place. His substitutions, and by the way, I was going to phone in a few times, see, over the last 4 games. I kept my powder dry, and I was kind of glad I did, because I was going to go really early on that. But in the St Mirren game, I thought we were starting to change it around. It is terrible. It's all on the manager, and he's been back so much. You can't tell me that squad is worse than the Hearts squad he had last season. It's not. I don't know what he's doing with the tools that he's got. They are all over the place, and it absolutely is his instructions. He had a week to prepare for that game. He kept the same team. Why the hell do they play it so differently?
Mr. Fox has got a heavy cold, right? Mr. Fox, and he said he'd like to come on tonight, but his voice is weak, so he didn't want to come on, right? And he made a point before we came on here that the players must have been scrambled. Well, the player that must have been scrambled must have been Finlay Curtis, because every time we move shape, mate, we expect him to do something different, mate.
He played every formation. Sterling used to be the utility guy. Now it's Finlay Curtis. I have no idea what he's doing. And you hit the nail on the head with guys like Fernandes. Fernandes' heart isn't in this. He'll be gone. He will 100% in the flight home be saying to McInnes, get me on the next plane to the Premier League or the Championship. You know, they will start going. Like you said, the guys signing now must be wondering what they're doing. And to be honest with you, from a financial perspective, why the hell would Rangers be signing another £9 million player? Because there's no European football money. Like, I know it's a rich man and rich Americans train set now, but we don't want this to come off the rails. We need to make sure this thing's sustainable.
Yeah, mate, I get it, mate. But what do you do then, mate? What do you do?
Unfortunately, guys, I genuinely don't think McInnes is the man. He either buckles down very quickly to a firm formation and builds his team around that. He can't just keep changing, or we change him. If you can't change the man, you've got to change the man, Ox. That's unfortunately what it is.
Is that the common sense approach? Is that the emotional?
Well, I listened to David earlier, right, and to be honest with you, I thought McInnes would be a steady hand, and he probably will get the season. Jesus, it has been a catastrophe from the start. I mean, every decision he's made has went wrong. Shanklin looks like a shell of himself, so does Devlin, right? Shamiti get bloody injured when we got a £22 million offer for him. But I don't think you could write this. Then we get out of the Europa League, and now we're out of the bloody Conference League. In the squad, they're going to have to trim that so much. You can't add more players to that squad if you're playing once a week. I genuinely don't think McInnes is the guy, having watched what I've watched. I genuinely think Rowe would have got more of a tune out of that team, you know. It's really difficult. We are right, it is just spiralling. There's no easy answer for any of this, but I think when you watch someone mess it up so many times, it's his formations that have screwed us up on these first 6 games.
Yeah,
and the one that we won, we looked terrible as well. I mean, that's the Mirren game. Come on, guys.
We won the great. It's just the scoreline and a couple of decent goals, mate, that sometimes someone at times dominated, because he seems to be happy to gear away the midfield. But, you know, just look domestically, mate. We played against Dundee United. We played Gardiri outside right, basically, mate. We got it wrong. You know, it's not his fault. We played Hibs. We got the injury, so we struggled, but we hardly had a shot at goal, mate. We didn't score at Ibrox. It was an own goal. Got us the goal. We got the goal against the Mirren, and the 2 European ties. Well, we did. It was a goal in the area, sort of deflected it in, and then the other
I know,
one
man.
was a penalty kick, mate. We are
And
creating nothing, mate.
No,
And-
we've fallen so far. That was the Polish Partick Thistle that beat us there. And now I don't even know what this Czech team are. I mean, they shouldn't even been in this competition. I heard the commentator say they were only in because the other team get banned. You know, it looked like we were playing that. The stadium was tiny. We've fallen so far here. And you can't, it's got to be on the manager, all of this. It 100% has to be on the manager. I mean, I heard you saying about the corner kick guy, that set piece coach. Well, he brought him in. Who did the interview with that boy? It came from Barrow and Furness. Who did the interview with him?
Well, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But I get your point, mate. But because it's for the start of the season, it's been appalling. I'll bring the lads in, and then I'll come back to you, Mark. Like, great points. Mark's no on the fence. Port Bear, and then my mate Ross.
Aye, mate, definitely. I just, from the start of the season, obviously, I've seen the progression. I've seen, and I'm still sitting watching, still trying to understand what he's trying to do. Can understand it. Again, that formation, right, absolutely bamboozled me. I'm like, right, what there is a Chikwane again up beside the Deary. You know, you don't see in the link up play. I think the players are absolutely amused, mate. I don't think they understand what he's even trying to do.
That's the point.
And like the boy
That's the point. That's the point that Fox was making. He's not saying he's lost the dressing room, but he says he thinks the players are scrambled. That's what he said before.
Aye. And that's easy. That's easy, mate. Because if you think about it, you're playing to them instructions, and like Mark just touched on there, in next minute. So you started off in your original formation you spoke about before you come onto the pitch, and then at half time he makes two substitutions, and then if there's tweaks about the middle of the park. You can see players all turning and looking at each other, wondering who's to do what. What's the message? What will I do? Am I playing? Am I now number 6? Am I? So one he's went for, like Mark says, he's went for a number 10 role to number 6. But but young Vanya is probably his worst game since we've seen him. It's very confusing next year, and we keep saying it. Football's an easy game to play if your instruction and your trainings went well during the week, because you've got a clear message. You understand what your rules are up until game day. But when the manager's changing it the way he's changing it, mate, it doesn't send a clear message to the players. And I'm not sticking up for them because some of them are poor. They're professionals. They should, know what their job still is. But I still find them far too passive.
Devil's advocate, Port, right? Playing devil's advocate, and you can come back in and answer, and then Ross can come in, right? You can have all the shape you want in the world, all the tactics. We discussed that and have done over the years offline. We talk about different shapes and different things and what your prepared formation is, and everybody's getting their own right. At the end of the day, football's about passing it to the guy with the same colour of strip as you, with the right weight and the right height, and making the right decision. That's what football's about. And then when you get near the goal, you either shoot or you make the pass to make the chance. We never made a chance tonight, and we're passing at the back, into midfield, fair in midfield, collectively, not one player. Maybe McCann, because he's mad run, which was entertaining, that was a highlight of the game. Not one player played well and passed the ball well. It was atrocious, mate. And if you were looking at that and stand alone, mate, and I'm not saying to get rid of McInnes, but if you were looking at that for outside in, Fox's point about the players being scrambled, you would say he's lost that dressing room. And there's no excuse for them no passing the ball. It's atrocious, Port. You come in, then Ross, and then back to Mark.
No, because these players played at other clubs last year and probably clear message. Young Dragicevic, captain of Partizan Belgrade, I bet he never had to get through it. He was made a captain at 20 at Partizan, and I bet he had a clear message every day, and that's why he stood out and why he got a good big money move to Rangers. These guys have all came for decent clubs. Daniel had a decent career down in England. Last these guys have played well enough to get a move to Rangers, and then they've came to Rangers And to me, it looks like it's like, what's going on? I have no clue what I'm doing here. This is confusing. And this for me, this stems from pre-season and also the training during the week. Obviously, the message during the week and in training and pre-season obviously wasn't clear, and that's why it's like followed into the season where we're at the now, and that's why we're in the state we're at now, mate. Because the message for the very start, since Derek McKenzie's come in, has not been clear, and the team don't know what they're doing, mate. That's my opinion. That's what I'm settling on.
All right, I think we'll be joined with Cal before we go back to Ross. Evening, Cal. How you doing, mate? Oh, it's no Cal. Ross, on you go, mate. Take that.
Oh, because I'll say a couple more things and then I'll go, right? But I totally agree with Mark with what he was saying on the formations. The formations don't work. We played 4-3-3 against them, and we get a little bit of joy at it. We got a result, and then we played it against the first leg, got a wee bit of result, a wee bit of joy at it. And the chops and changes, now I just can't get my head around that, right? But at the end of the day, in my opinion, the players that we've brought in are simply just not good enough. And we're going to have a long, long season because things aren't going to get any better. You know, it's just an absolute shambles. The fans that are paying the most that have paid in a season ticket to witness what.
Aye, mate. I get it.
It's terrible.
I get it, mate. I get it, and we're all frustrated. And if you were coming to watch that, you maybe look for players for bargains for the Scottish League. Maybe say, well, we'll have a look at this team tonight because you know in some of the top leagues you might be looking to pick up something as a bargain. Oh, jeez, oh. Wow.
So sorry. See, we have known for weeks since that last game of the season last year what we've needed to do. And we're still scrambling about trying to get players in. And it's no work. It's backfired. We're already 5 points behind in the league. We're out of Europe. I mean, Hearts and Hibs could both qualify into that league face, and we're out.
Aye.
That's a shambles.
I know, mate, and there's no words. Listen, you go and have some, what's the vodka out there? Absolute, isn't it? Swedish. You go and have some absolute. Get a big glass and get a chitty. We'll give you the receipt to Fox. That'll break his heart.
Oh, did that need Bridgeman to come and see me?
You enjoy your holiday, brother. Thanks for the call. Always good to hear from you, mate.
Right, boys. I'm going to listen and chill out and listen away, right?
Chill out. Anyway, talking about chilled out, I was joined by my good friend Albert. How we doing, Mucker?
I'm great, mate. That was fantastic. Enjoyed that. I was sleeping through it most of it. No, I'm only kidding. It's abysmal. It's just abysmal. And we played what we are, mate. We're a bottom six Premiership team in Scotland. That's how we play, mate. That's what we are. We're dreadful. Absolutely dreadful, mate. The whole lot of them that you can't even pick one out. It's to see who never played the worst. That's how bad it's got. You can't pick a player man of the match or anything like that. It's just who didn't play the worst. It's bad. Bad beyond belief, mate. And it's simple things. It's just simple things that they can't do. Can't make the right decisions. They can't run their ball. Can't pass a ball. They can't read what their own mates are doing. It's 10 individual players running a bit apart, doing what they want to do and thinking. I mean, Wee Curtis comes on and shows you the point. He just does what he wanted to do. He's just charging forward, charging through the middle, trying to get through. He's not looking for Shanklin or anybody else. He's not looking for the best pass or the most destructive pass towards the team. He's just charging through. And I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that's the way we're all playing. They're all playing it. He just highlighted it to me. And you look at the forward line.
In midfield.
Oh, the midfield's now non-existent, mate. Non-existent. Again, said it last year. You start building a team for the defence, but our midfield, our defence, we thought was going to be all right. A couple of signings, 2, 3, maybe 4 signings, and that'll be that sorted. And then get rid of that crap keeper we had, which we did. So you're looking at it now and you're saying the midfield for last year is the same type of player as it was as this year. There's no creativity in the midfield, mate. We've got nobody in there that can control the midfield, the tempo of a game. And we've got nobody in there that can actually properly pass the ball. How many times did we give that ball away the night, mate? It was incredible. I mean, that's the worst thing I've ever seen. Any professional team getting a ball away. I thought their whole team and our forward line were playing against Rangers. I think our forward line as well. I mean, Penrice was trying to cross the ball. He's either over-hitting it or under-hitting it. If he under-hits it, it's a breakaway. They're getting a breakaway. In fact, they nearly scored for one of his corner kicks for us.
Aye.
We're back to this nonsense again, mate. Back to it again. And you're giving no made a step forward to solve the problems for last year. And as you pointed out already, the other guys have pointed out, we're actually worse than we were last year. And that's a fact. It's dreadful, mate. And he's standing on the sideline. And let's be honest, he never had a clue how to sort that. Not a clue. We go down 1-0 down. We need a goal.
I'd be really
He sticks it right back on.
I'd be really interested in your take on the manager, mate, because I know your theory, mate. Yeah, about time and support. And I'm not saying get rid of McInnes, but you know what's going to happen, mate. If people are watching that, the clamour's just going to grow. It's going to be mental on it.
But you've got to ignore it, mate. You've just got to ignore it. You have no choice. You've got to ignore it this time. You cannot go with the mob. You can't ignore this time, mate. And we've got ourselves into this position because we kept going with the mob. Oh, he's crap. He's got to go. It's a manager. It's never been the manager's problems, mate. It's never been the manager's problems. Any of them, apart from Martin, I suggest. But it's the quality of player, mate. It's always going to be the quality of player. And they're not good enough. You're sitting saying, why you keep signing these players that are just simply not good enough? And I said to you before we said spent this money, don't give them money. Just don't. If the caliber player they brought in so far is ain't to go by, don't give them money. Please don't give them money. But we went and gave them money. And we're going to give them some more money as well. So McInnes has been going about quality up the top half of the park, up the top of the park. We're not good enough, we're not good enough. We need a goal, mate, tonight. We need a goal. And what does he do? He brings on a right back. You've got Miofsky sitting there, a goal scorer. Somebody that will get in the boat. Somebody can sniff out a goal. He brings a right back on. And then the last, 5 minutes of the game, he brings Miofsky on. Make sense of it, mate. I can't make sense of any of this.
I can't make sense. I can't make sense of his substitutions, mate. I can't make sense of his formation in the first half when he was getting the midfield up. And let's be honest, the boy, we never seen if the boy was offside when he missed an absolute sitter. It looked as if he could have been offside, but so that could have been different, but
they've been bragging all week about what they're going to do to us, and we're confident we'll go through. They one of them confident we're going through, mate. We must be looking with blue-tinted glasses, by the way, because they've seen right through us and went, oh, they're no bother, we can beat them. And it's true, they could have beat us quite comfortably. I don't think they're a great team. In fact, I don't even think they're a good team. But they made us look more than ordinary, mate.
Question for you, Albert. How many saves did their goalie have and how many chances did we have?
0.
Thank you. Can you come, Mark?
I'll try and address a couple of the points Albert made. There are like 10 players running around like headless chickens, not working as a team. Well, that's what happens when you've got a lack of formation, a lack of structure, and a lack of instruction. The worst thing that epitomised that was, see, at the start of the second half, and by no means was it a good first half, right? But it was a stale 0-0, right? It was 3 substitutions at half time, and it took the players about 10 minutes to work out who was playing where. I don't know what McInnes was doing at half time. What did they say to them? Then further still, at the start of extra time, Shanklin does the team talk. What's that all about? Right? That's just... McInnes he's in over his head here, right? So, Albert, you think we've got to give McInnes time, right? I'll put it to you that he's had a worse start than Russell Martin. So this season, he has had Rangers' worst ever start by a Rangers manager, right? That actually beats Russell Martin's, and now we're completely out of Europe, whereas Russell actually got us to Europa. And you know my feelings last season on Russell Martin, how much I wanted him out, and I'm seeing exactly the same thing, but worse. At least Russell Martin had some philosophy, an absolutely corrupted, flawed philosophy. I am seeing no philosophy from McKinnon with a better squad, because they have thrown big money at that. I just can't believe what I'm witnessing here from Rangers.
Right, to
Oh, it's
reply
bad,
to
mate, it's
Albert, then I think we've been joined by Carl. On you go, Albert.
I don't think you can sack the manager. I know you should sack the manager, but I don't think you can, because we're in this problem because that's one of the
Spiral, mate.
reasons,
We're in
not
a
the
spiral.
only reason. Oh, we're in a spiral, and if we keep going, we'll just stay in the spiral. Something needs to happen here to break the spiral. And I agree with the talk, the team talk. I mean, he's never done the team talk. Shanklin's doing it, but the three substitutes they come on. I'm looking at Nadiri and going like that. I heard you saying they hitting him. The boy is garbage, man. I mean, his efforts there, his work rate's there, but as a football player, he's utter garbage. He's just not got any skill, and that's hard to say, isn't it? But it's true. He's not got any skill whatsoever. I remember Danny Rowe saying when he came, "Well, we'll have some fun with Nadiri." I think what he was saying, you're not going to believe what you're going to watch here. I think that's what he was saying in coded language, mate. And I've watched the boy. And Miovski is standing on that bench, and you're going, I'm not saying Miovski's the answer, but Miovski, I know, is a goal scorer. We've all seen it. We don't know that Nadiri's ever going to be a goal scorer because we've only seen him for part of last year and start of this year. And what I've seen, you go, centre forward, no, you're not a centre forward, son. You just know. You're not good enough, no skillful enough to be a centre forward. You've no ability to trap a ball, hold a ball in, bring people into play. You're hopeless, absolutely hopeless at it. But there you go. That's who we've got. So I don't know where we go for this, mate. How do you solve this? I have not a clue. Not a clue, mate. All I do know is we need better players, and it's as simple as that. We need better players, and we need the manager to know what he's doing for a start as well. Whether he does, whether he doesn't, I don't know. He'll tell you there's reasons for the way we're playing. One, he kept saying quality. Saying, all right, quality. But you're not playing against quality teams. As you pointed out, we've played nobody yet. We've absolutely played nobody yet. Nobody of any real quality. I'm dreading
By the way, I
it,
think
mate.
the starting 11, there was 6 players for this season.
Yep,
Am I
new
right?
ones.
The goalkeeper, the left back,
Yep.
centre half, and then the 2 in midfield, and the outside right, and then you've got outside left that came this time last year, last summer, the centre forward that came in January, and the middle of midfield player that came in January. There's only Sterling at any length, so they've all come in since this. If you like, what's his name, Kevin Thirlwell, and that battalion got involved in our club, mate.
You've also got to take into account, Ox, as well. A lot of Rangers fans have been shouting and bawling since last year. We don't care about Europe. We don't care about it. We want to concentrate. Oh, you've got your wish now. You've got your wish now, mate. Now it's going to be a long season, mate. With no European football, no Thursday nights, great atmospheres. If we could create it and get nothing, mate. You gave it all away. You gave all that revenue. It's all away now. And you're sitting now with the bare bones of a season, and we're already 5 points behind in the league, and we've got them in the cup at Ibrox, and the same is it quarterfinals. That's your season now, mate. So a lot of Rangers fans were wanting it, so they've got it now. Let's see how much they like this, because I don't see any improvement in the team, and I don't know how you get improvement in the team, because I don't think the midfield is any good. There's too many players of the same ilk. That's the problem. Too many. We kept saying it. No playmakers, no creative midfielders. And now we're going to try and do now. We're going to try and turn some of these wingers into number 10s and creative midfielders. That's what we're going to try and do, mate, because we don't know how to. And then it's going to be, if we get Lewis Ferguson, it'll all change. No, we'll not. I can't say he's good enough. I'm not seen enough of the boy.
We needed Lawrence. Lawrence was going to come in. He was going to be the saviour, mate.
Aye, exactly. He's going to score all these goals. He said, I don't think he's had a shot.
actually feel a bit sorry for the boy, mate. Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for the boy because the expectations were so high, mate. He was never going to match them, you know. So it's a bit mental. I'll come back to you, Albert. We'll join Boer Cal. Evening, Cal.
Evening. I don't know what to say. I mean, if I was McInnes, I'd be putting my hands up and saying I surrender. But you can't blame the recruitment. But see, apparently he's wanting to have, or McInnes can get them to run through brick walls. Well, maybe he should stop doing that so they don't get concussion.
Aye, I mean, we don't look like a teammate. We don't look like a team together. We don't look like a team with spirit. We don't look like a team with skill. We'll get no pace. What better in you come, mate?
Nah, I couldn't agree with him, mate. We're miles off it. So disjointed. It genuinely looks like a team that's been thrown together. Like you're doing a park with your mates on a Sunday, and you find a bunch of boys, and you're saying, "I'm going to throw 11 aside together, and we'll see what happens." That's what it looks like up here. I can't be any more critical, and I know that makes it a bit harsh, but they do not know how to play with each other. It's what they don't know each other. They're void of ideas. I know we criticise the strikers like big time on here, but Oxford, there's no service. There's no service. Like Albert touched on, there's no creativity in midfield. We've been saying it. There's no ball carriers. There's no centre mid willing to go and break his neck.
How about this, mate? If you're setting up with a 4-2-4, mate, why not make it a 4-4-2 and then bring your legs on when the games are done? It's a modern trend of football. It's what happens. It's now became a 16-man game. Yeah,
That's right.
You use your subs tactically. We take all our legs off at half time, mate, and we've nowhere to go, and we've used all our subs. And then as the game gets tired, we'll get 2 subs to make, and we've got 4 players needing to come off. And how many times has he done it at half time? So what that tells me, mate, when you're having to make these substitutions at half times and guys on the injured because we've not been told that, you're admitting you got it wrong. So how bad's that?
Yep. Aye. He's void of ideas, mate. And this is why he's going to come under so much criticism, because it's not the first time Oxford that he's changed it at half time. And that proves, like you're saying, he's picked a team, he's worked on it all week, like that week he had there, and by half time he's spoke to his coaching team and he's probably went, I've got us wrong. What can we do? And it's as if there's no thought in Oxford. Like with Ross touched on earlier on, the 4-3-3 we played against St Mirren, that's the best I've seen us play. That's the most confident I've seen us play. Although we weren't great, we still created a lot of chances and scored 5 goals to it. So why did we not try and stick with that for a wee while and try and get a bit of continuity, keep that team selection, keep that formation, and see where it takes us? But no, next game, mate, he changes it again, and then again tonight he goes again at half time and he takes off the subs again.
You got to remember, McInnes before he came to Rangers and all the teams he's been with, he get great plaudits for being a defensive manager. I think he's now at Rangers where he's got to break down the very system that he sets up in other teams, and he's not got a clue how to do it. And that's how I keep saying these managers should never get plaudits for this low block nonsense. Oh, they're well organised and all that. It's the easiest thing to do in the world. The hardest thing to do in the world is what we're trying to do, is break teams down. And it's not just us, all teams throughout the world, even brilliant teams struggle with these low blocks.
You seen the World Cup?
Exactly. So he's a manager. Sorry, mate.
Oh, a question for you, Albert, and taking on Port's message. Put yourself on mute, please, Blue Star, if you don't mind. We'll bring in a second, bro. Right, just a quick. See when you're in a management position, mate, and pressure goes in some people then make wrong decisions because the pressure makes you do things and you don't think straight. That in all industries, and that's what you're seeing at times, right? Because you're trying to get ahead of the curve and try to be too clever sometimes, instead of stripping it back and just keeping the basic. Albert, there's facts on it. Under pressure,
Oh, it's
people
definitely a
make bad
fact.
decisions.
And that's what's happening here. That's exactly what's happening here. He's panicking. I mean, look at the end of the game. He's just throwing things at the wall and hoping it sticks. The old saying, the old cliches are all starting to come out. And that's true, mate. You never had a clue how to break them down. You never had a clue how to what player to play well. He's trying everything. He's trying people in square pegs and round holes and all that nonsense. He's doing everything today, and he's not got a clue. He's panicking, mate. And then he brings Barn on, the very player that he's hardly kicked the ball, and he's trying to get rid of. He brings him on as basically his playmaker to try and win the game for you. Then he brings Bielski on, another player he's not interested in. He's panicking, mate. It's gone now. His head's gone. And as much as he doesn't know what he's doing, and he doesn't know see with Aberdeen, St Johnson, Kilmarnock and all that, it's easy, mate. His tactics were easy. Sit back, keep the game tight to the last 80 minutes, then go for them. And that was his tactics against us. And it worked a lot. I'd say about 6 times, 7 times out of 10, he got a result against us. And we all thought, oh, he's a great manager. I told you, any manager that does low blocks is not a great manager. Managers who put teams together that are creative and can break these low blocks down, they're good managers. And he's no one of them. I'm sorry to say.
I just want to bring Blue Star in quickly before we go to the tune. Just get his initial thoughts before we go to the tune, Blue Star.
Evening, guys.
Good evening. Good.
I thought the worst I'd seen, well, I never said good evening, I said evening. The worst I'd seen was Progress Niederhorn in my lifetime. And that was 10 levels even before that, at least against Niederhorn with umpteen shots at goal. The night we had one, and that was a header, and it wasn't even at the goalkeeper, and that was Lee Curtis. The overriding thing for me, and I hear what Albert's saying about McInnes and that, I'm telling you, the guy's a manager, a proper manager, where he's been let down big time, as others. There's 3 guys bringing the players to the club, and there's certainly no Derricks. That's a fact. I know a wee bit, and I'm telling you, he's lucky if he's been able to bring in 3 players that he pinpointed. The rest, they've been pushed onto him. They all bear a good point there. You take last season, for example, we spent over 54 million quid, and it will be shown in the accounts. We finished 3rd, never even got to a final of any cup competition. We then go into this season, we got another manager in, and we proceed to do the same thing. We all knew for last season we needed a spine, 5 players in particular, 2 centre-halves, 2 big, strong, dominant centre-halves, a centre midfielder that can control a game, an outside right, and probably another striker. You tell me in what one of the positions we've brought in a bit of quality. I'll tell you the new, none. Heard all the pundits and everything else saying, oh, McCanya's been doing this. McCanya was dreadful tonight. But then so were the whole team. The lack of cohesion, there's no drive for midfield. It doesn't matter who he puts in the middle of that park. That Dan Neil, that's worse than a man shot. He's done nothing in any game he's played. We heard all this last season, Ox. You knew it fine well. We get tell all this about Rothwell doing this and that with Leeds. I'll tell you, even Rothwell showed up more than what Dan Neil does. He was lost, totally anonymous the whole night, as were the rest. But McInnes is a manager, guys. Make no mistake about it. But he's been forced to play players that are no his. Look at the leagues he's bringing these guys in for. It's a nonsense. He'd already agreed terms with John Hurtel Dahl. Fact, the guy came out and said that he'd sell. And the club balked at the end up at the $8.5 million price tag. And what are we doing now? Going for guys in leagues that shouldn't be anywhere near Scottish football. And they're paying even more. It's a merry-go-round that's absolutely nonsense. That's what it is, guys.
Before we go to the tune, just quickly, just keep it brief before we go to the tune. So what you're saying is the more you would clear out the recruitment, Farewell, Stig and all the rest, the 3 of them, go Purdy.
1 million%, Ox.
You'll not be alone in that sentiment, mate. You'll not be alone in that sentiment. Get yourself in mute. We're going to have a tune, and then we're going to go straight to the manager's interview, and then we'll come back to it, lads. All right?
I hear the change.
cheating. I hear they run the GCC. I hear the titles are tainted. And I hear they pay the SFA. Because we're Brits and true, and we're Rangers through and through. We all knew, Big Jock knew. I hear they try to hide the story. I hear to this day they still deny. I hear it's swept beneath the carpet. We all know the Tigs were born a lie. Because we're Brits and true, and we're Rangers through and through. We all knew, Big Jock knew. Tell your story, then maybe you'll sleep at night. Why don't they pay the victims money? But then I don't suppose that's right. Because we're Brits and true, and we're Rangers through and through. We all knew, Big Jock knew. Because we're Brits and true, and we're Rangers through and through. We all knew, Big Jock knew.
Can I just get your reflections on that tonight?
So embarrassed with it because we should be winning this tie, and there's no two ways about it. I thought we got what we deserved. You know, we could have nicked it in penalties and got through, which we'd have took gladly. And as I've said before, it's all about trying to work towards better performances and try and win games of football as you're doing that. But we were way off it. We have to be totally honest with that. You know, I think the only people that represented the club properly tonight were my support staff, who we do all the preparation right. The club gets the players to an elite level to try and perform at their best, and we were miles short. And the supporters, who were brilliant, and when they don't come on a charter flight, they don't stay in the best hotels, they come here, they find a way to get here, and they gave the team brilliant backing despite watching a really poor performance. So for that, I'm grateful, but I'm also embarrassed at the fact that we should be performing a lot better. And you know, it's not easy for me to say that because I'm here to help my players. I want my players to be so much better than what they were tonight. I thought we looked young at times. I thought we lacked in aggression. I thought when we tried to press fully, when the ball came forward, we don't win enough tackles, we don't win enough second balls, we don't win enough duels, and that became really difficult. And we watched the game unfold in the first half, and we changed the shape just to go with our front two and try and play up to our strikers a bit more. And we've got to be honest, that didn't work either. So there was loads of the game where it was just okay, and you kind of stem the kind of flow of the game a wee bit. But we've got to be so much better. We'd worked on trying to build in a five and work in the wider areas and be really progressive from there. But we didn't do anywhere near enough with the ball. And you've got to be something. As a team, you've got to be something, whether you're a possession-based team, a team that goes direct, a counter-attack team. And everything we were tonight, you would have to say we fell way short on all that.
Can you put your finger on maybe why that performance wasn't at the level that you were expecting tonight?
You know, I know you can bring poor performances, but when the performance isn't on point, you've got to show so much more on the other side of the game, and that's communication and winning challenges and getting to second balls and just playing against your direct opponent and trying to kind of come out the other side of it until you get a foothold in the game. And we were sadly lacking all that. You know, we were poor with our work in possession. I thought we were pretty safe. Played in the wrong areas. Kept coming back when we needed to go forward. And I just thought we were scrappy and lacked in any real conviction of what we're trying to do.
When it came to the penalties, I think after that we obviously saw some of the players were visibly upset as well. Young Finlay, how important now is it for the squad to stick together moving forward after that?
Yeah, that's no on Finlay or James. You know, it's like once it comes down to penalties, it's all the advantages that we've got over this lot are gone. It's just it shouldn't have been in that position, and it's wrong. And I mentioned that to the players. It shouldn't have come down to the two boys being in tears. Because we've all seen it, the best players can miss penalty kicks. We had enough time to get through the tie, and while they'll feel the weight of that in a minute, it's not on them. There's that responsibility is mine, but it's the responsibility shared tonight. But I'm responsible for bringing a better performance than what we showed tonight, and for that I'm embarrassed and I'm so disappointed that we've been emptied out of Europe without really turning up, and that isn't good enough.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Can I say I don't pick the tune. I don't have any say in the tune, but I think the boys selected that for all our new listeners. You can work that one out, lads. Right. Mark, I'll say it again. Derek conducts himself well in any situation he's been thrown on. He's very truthful. I think he's very honest. I don't think he's the worst guy in the world. But what he thinks, mate, he can get any better. He's picking the team. He's putting the shape. You know, Star might be right about the recruitment, but he's got a job today, and we look miles off it in all departments, mate. All departments. Mark?
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm, by the way, I wanted McInnes for years at Rangers. I genuinely thought he would be a great fit. I thought, he's worked under Walter Smith. He knows the kind of background of the Rangers. He knows, how to set up a team in his previous roles. But I don't know what he's doing there. Like, in that interview, not once did he. It was like he was just throwing darts at a board, hoping to hit something. Like, why did he change from the 4-3-3? Like, it kind of worked out that was working. It got the 5-1, it got the 1-0. Why would you change away from something that's working? And then he changed it about 6 times in the game, and no wonder the players didn't know what they were doing, because it was chaos. And he's the manager, he's the guy that should be pulling all of that together and putting a bit of structure and putting a bit of, pulling everyone together. I genuinely think if he'd played that as a 4-3-3, this game would have probably won that. Because
who's your personnel in it? Who's your three in midfield then? Is it
exactly
the same personnel playing
yeah,
as a three?
Yeah. Just drag it. Just the Dragon, Chuck Whanney, and Dan Neil slightly behind them. I think would have won that, because at least they had a bit of structure. They'd been playing in some level of patterns, and like they've been doing in the 2 games previously. I remember progress need the corner as well, and I think this is worse, to be honest, because there's just been far more money spent. It's a far better squad, and it's a real shame. It really is, because the fans and everyone, like you said, going out there, and the fact we're not in Europe, it is just we've fallen so far here, and for me, it's all on Derek. It's absolutely all on Derek here. I think different managers would have got more of a tune out of that team. So I don't know what he did with them from last Thursday to today.
Port Bear. Port Bear. And I'll slide it round to All Bear.
Well, he said something that confused. I mean, just to answer Blue Star, I don't want the man sacked. I've told you I don't want the guy sacked. But you've got to answer. He's got to answer to what's happening here. But his interview there, it confused you even further. If you're actually listening to what he's saying. He's saying the players don't know. The press didn't work, so we don't know if we're a pressing team, a counter-attacking team, or a possession-based team. And I thought the manager set this at what time, what kind of team you're going to be, or what sort of game plan you've got to start the game. What did the players just go out there and they decide? Oh, the night we're going to be, I mean, one of the shows that you go and I'm going to be Elvis tonight. What are they doing? It doesn't make sense to me, mate. It doesn't make sense to me at all. If they're going out there and let the players decide what they're doing, and that seems to be what he's telling you, well, that's where the confusion's coming from. He's got to lead for the front. He's got to tell them, right, we're either going to press this team high tonight, and our press is terrible, mate, terrible. Or we're not going to press, or we're going to keep possession of the ball, or we're going to do whatever. But he's got to tell them what's happening. At the moment, there doesn't seem any rhyme or reason to what we're up to. It just seems It just seems to me that we're saying the quality of the players. They can't seem to get by anybody. They get pushed off the ball easy, muscled out of their position. We lose 50-50 balls all over the park, and we keep giving the ball away, we keep caught in possession. All the things that you don't want to do as a football player, we seem to manage to do. In abundance, by the way. It's just no new and again. It's abundance. If you watch how many times we get shoved off the ball tonight, it's mental. It's absolutely mental. That's what he says. We look like a young team tonight. Well, that's what we are. We are a young team. That's your recruitment mob telling you you're keeping signing 20-year-olds. So what's a surprise when you actually go out and play a game like that and the team just throw you off the ball? I don't understand why they're surprised at this. And then I get told, oh, we need to bring young boys through and play young boys. Well, no, you play young boys. That's what happens to young boys at this level. And they're not even a good team. This is the frightening thing for me. They're not a good team by any stretch of the imagination, but they outfought us, outran us, outplayed us. You've seen it in the last third of the park. If they were a really good team, they'd have slaughtered us tonight, mate, because the top end of the park with them was pretty weak. I thought there wasn't any quality up there for them. But the rest of the park outfought us, outran us, outplayed us by a distance, mate. And we never had a clue. Not a clue how to beat it. No 1-2s, no play. Everybody's stoning about. You see Big Fernandez stoning in the ball with his hands out all the time now. You're going to stop doing that, son. We know there's nobody moving. The time you do that is at training. The time you say to them, look, I'm stoning this ball and I want you to get somebody, but you're not stoning like statues. Going to somebody move. Not just 1, 2 or 3 years move so you give the midfield, the defence an option to hit you. At the moment, we've not got an option. We're just going to play square ball, square ball, square ball all night long and get absolutely nowhere. So, I don't know, mate. It confuses me at times. But I don't want him sacked. I'm not saying sack him. I'm not saying that at all. Because we've got to make a stand with the manager sometime.
My problem is, mate, the clamour started and it's going to grow, mate, because you need to win football matches and he's not doing it. I get your point, mate. And we've talked about it with the painters and decorators, who's pretty close to Blue Stars. Heart, if they were hanging the wallpaper upside down, you wouldn't sack your manager, you'd sack your 11 decorators. But in football, it's mental. The guy's trying to get him to do the job right, gets a sack. But look, that's a new team, and I get a bit gelling, but we've now been back playing for about nearly 2 months now. You know, with the pre-season plus the matches, 6 weeks. You're heading towards 2 months, mate. And we went from bad to worse. And your point about the passing and the movement and everything's wrong. John Penrice came in and started really well for us and did a couple of good games. I thought he was poor tonight, mate. And even his delivery was poor. But that can happen to anybody. You can have a bad game. But we have repeat performers who get back in the team. Fernandez, I thought he was the worst player tonight. I'm not a fan. But I don't know whether he's part of the problem, mate. And the cancer spreads through a team. One bad apple can affect a dressing room. It's mental. Blue Star.
The last 4 managers we've had, we've always known there was something wrong. Albert's been on about it for years. We always suspected there was something wrong in the dressing room. We know why Suter will never wear the shirt again, because Kavanagh personally told him because of the carry-on we roll. They were effing and blinding at him, the so-called leadership group. That's a fact. And Ox, I know you already know that. But the point you've got here is, you've got 3 guys at our club that don't know our club. They were brought in, and they have continuously had the checkbook and they'd say so as to who comes in and who doesn't go out, because we've not got rid of MD. You're now at the point that you've been hammering on here for the last 6 years, Ox. How do you get rid of players once you've signed them? Now, you look at that squad for last season, and we go into this season. We signed 6, 7, 8, 9 midfielders. I'm telling you, they weren't McKinney's signings. Straight away, you look at it, as Albert, everybody on this show has always said we needed a spine, a backbone. So you start with your 2 centre-halves, your centre midfield. We've always known we needed an outside right. You tell me in what one of their positions we've signed quality. I'm telling you right now, none of them. Absolutely none of them. It's a mismatch. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, and they're just bringing players in for the sake of it. And Albert had a good point there. Bang on the money. Most of these guys are all mega young because they're trying to make a quick buck. That's all good and well, but you need experienced pros running about you. It's no coincidence Gerrard came out and said what he said, along with Souness, when they said it. They says, now remember, Gerrard had the biggest interview we've had under Kavanagh. That's fact. We all know it. 2.5 full, 2 3/4 days, 4:30 in the afternoon, and the third day. And the reason he never took it, nothing at all to do with tax problems, I'd laugh at that one. It was down to the fact he wanted to sign his own players. And since then, Rolls the only one that got bringing in his own players in January. Every one of them, utter bomb scare. 14.5 million down the Swanee. And then we go into this season, Derek's brought in 3 players, and 2 of them were freebies out of contract. It's a farce. The 3 guys that are the main culprits here are the recruitment team. Why are they still at our club? They have failed miserably. Nobody can dispute that with the players that we've brought in. But more importantly, Ox, your big bugbear. We've now got an overbloated squad. Nobody wants these players. Nobody wants them. And they'll certainly not pay the money for them. You might be lucky to get Raskin out the door. You might be lucky to get flipping Fernandez out the door. But see all the rest? They're there for the duration. Your Asgards and everything else. What have they done for our club since they signed any of them? Be honest. Gassama. Come on.
What would the speed of Asgard when they come on that part of the night, try to play?
Exactly.
And now the boys get technical ability, you would see 5 or 6 and that, and we all know football players like that.
Derek never had the money. We all know Derek never had the money at his previous clubs, right? But you look at that Hearts team last season, were they great? No, they weren't. But you know the one thing they had? Desire, commitment, and they were full of running from back to front. You look at our side, in every one of these games so far, what running have we seen? What players have we actually seen running with the ball at their feet? Especially midfield. Not one of them.
We've been talking about Derek. We've been joined by Derek. No, that Derek. Good Derek. Evening, Derek.
Good evening, panel. How are you all tonight? The unfortunate thing is, and I know I agree with the guy there about the recruitment and everything else, but I just think Derek McInnes is out his depth for Rangers. I just don't think his style of football was ever going to suit Rangers. He was negative at Hearts a lot of the times. He was negative at Kilmarnock, Aberdeen. It was every man back behind the ball and try and win nothing. I don't think his style of football, and there's something no right in the club that how can every single player have an off night? But in the St Mirren game, not one single player's improved the team. I said in another radio station he would be away by the September weekend, and I stand by that. And the players he signed, not one of them is an upgrade of what we had. Not one of them. And that includes the goalkeeper. I think I spoke to you the other week there about the goalkeeper. I don't think he's an improvement in Jack Butland. I know you always say that you thought he was all right, but
I don't think he's been at fault for any of the goals we've lost, mate. I genuinely don't.
I'm not saying it, but do you think he's an improvement?
Well, you judge goalkeepers on what they do, and that goal tonight, mate, the guy skinned Penrith, put it across. And I think one of the defenders might have got a touch on it. Yeah.
Do you think you'll be the manager at Christmas?
Oh, mate, that's a big goal. My balls are the crystal, mate. They're hurting at the moment, but they're no crystal. I'll bring in Port Bear.
I have to agree with the boys, mate. You know, I had an interview with Graham Souness, and Graham Souness, his theory was you're never winning with guys that have they been involved in football. And what he's talking about is a recruitment team, and I totally agree with Blue Star and that when they're talking about and Derek in regards to recruitment. I think this is where it all stems to. You've got
But
guys
surely
there.
Derek McInnes would have known that before he took the job.
I know, but see with Derek McInnes, I think, in my opinion, guys, he was a safe pair of hands. But see, we know with Derek, you know, the way he sets teams up, difficult to beat, tough, you know, full endeavour, fight, desire. But he's not, you know, I could accept that if that's what he was going to play at Rangers right now because of where we're at, because we're building a young new team. If he made us hard to beat and we could scrape games 1-0, but we've got a wee bit more quality than he's ever dealt with. So, you know, eventually you'd like to see progression. But he's not done that. He's not even started with that. He's not even made us hard to beat. We're very predictable. We're very one pace. But you know, but he doesn't know his best team. He doesn't know his best formation. He's in a full pre-season. The players that have been drip fed to him, as Blue Star touched on, aren't his because the recruitment team picking his players. I personally don't think that works. I know it's a modern way, but I personally don't think it works. But I just think I have to agree with boys that says it. I think Derek McInnes is out his depth, and it's through no fault of his own. But where we are as a club right now, the only thing is I couldn't pick
But
another manager. I can't think of another manager that would come in and go from there.
where do you go? Where do you go for
That's what I'm
him,
saying,
mate?
here. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's no. It's
I
it's
don't
not.
know, mate.
It's
I
not a
don't know.
simple fix. It's not a simple fix. Albert, then back to Blue Star, then we'll bring Mark back in. On you go, Albert.
I mean, McInnes wasn't my choice, mate. I never thought he was going to be a great man. I don't think he was a great manager. But at the end of the day, the modern way is they get players, they get a squad of players and told to coach them into a good team. That's their job, mate. That's what they are, coaches. That's what they're supposed to be. And none of them seem to be able to do it because it's the old saying, isn't it? You can't make a salt purse. You know what I mean? Out of pig's ear. It's as simple as that, mate. You've either get good players. And with good players, you can mould into a good team, but you can't get a crap players and try to mould them into whatever. And that's what's happening with us at the moment. We'll get these players that some of them are all right, some of them you can see have got a bit of skill, but they're nowhere near a team. Absolutely. I was watching that Mourinho thing. I've seen the first part. I've not seen the rest of it. The first part, but he said one thing in that really interesting one. And he turns around and says, I don't manage football players. He says, I actually manage men who happen to play football. I manage the man first. That's what McInnes needs to do with these guys. He needs to manage the men first, get it into their head. I mean, you looked at that team tonight, they didn't look like a team of winners. And if you watch the penalty kicks and you watch that other team, they're all together, their background staff are all together. We're all over the place, mate. We're just, and each one that walked forward, I wasn't confident any of our players scoring the penalty kicks. I'm telling you right now. And you're looking at that with the angle you see in the penalty kicks where keeper looked like a midget in that goal, and you're saying, good grief, look at this. This doesn't look right at all. But he managed to save a penalty kick and get us in front. So at the end of the day, it's down to McInnes to draw these players together and turn them into a team. And first of all, as Marino says, you've got to get hold of the guys themselves. I mean, Lampard said it, Terry said it. He had them that the whole world was against them. They all hate them, and he gelled them together. He got them together to play as a team. We have no got that. They are playing as 10 individuals, and then 15 individuals if one if he brings his 5 subs on. It's ridiculous, mate, and it shows up as that. We ain't a team. We're nowhere near being a team yet. But you've got some decent players in there that you go, aye. You've also got some draws as well. But you get some decent players in there that there's a chance to get a foothold at the start of a team. But it's going to take some amount of work, mate. It really is going to take some amount of work. But you're out of Europe, so you've got a lot of time now to do it.
Why is John Suter not getting a game?
I'm not going to comment on that one. It's a personal reason.
He's been a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
Been a bad boy. Right. Mark, this is when you look at this, and now we're days away for the transfer window. If Raskin, Fernandez, Gassama, and Asgard left our club, would you be surprised or would you be upset?
Nah, you wouldn't be bothered. Like, I mean, the first thing you think with Rangers is like heart and spirit and that never give up, never give in attitude, and they are like the opposite of that. Maybe Raskin, that's a bit harsh on him because he does dig in, but the other three are, you know, they're flashy players on their own terms, if you know what I mean. They don't do a job for the team. Everything's on their terms, and they spit the dummy if it's not going right. So that's exactly not what you want in a Rangers player. And yeah, some of the points that were made there while I was listening, like, yeah, McInnes will be here at the end of the season because at the end of the day, all we've got to play now is Scottish games, and that's what he knows. So he does know Scotland, but yeah, I've said it a few times. I just don't recognise this team, and it's not what I thought a McInnes team would look like, any of this. Yeah, he needs to properly get a grip of this if he's going to stand a chance of staying here. And like I said, he needs to arrive very quickly at his formation. Like, I think he wants to play a 4-4-2, but it looked awful. It just did. And the thing is,
if you play a 4-4-2 with that personnel with Gassama and your quota, is you're expecting them to track anybody back. The two of them haven't got a defensive bone in their body.
And that's it. You can't do it. So what you have to do is put a formation around the players you've got, and that's why the 4-3-3 is getting some level of success. And I think it's on him. Honestly, I think all of this is on him, unfortunately, because he set those teams up wrong. He's changed it at half-time every single game. You know, that's him. He has 100% made mistakes. We've lost most of the first halves. And the one that we won was when we stuck with the 4-3-3. And I think he needs to arrive at a formation and get all of those boys on the same train, you know, and get them on the bus or get off. You know what I mean? And everyone pull in the same direction. And, you know, we've seen him do it with Hearts. So hopefully just with, 36 games left in the SPL, we can do something there. But I am not looking forward to the League Cup game coming up. It does not look. It's not a pretty picture right now, and he needs to properly fix this quick smart.
Worcester.
Oh, he's in massive bother. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I know how he wants to play, but he hasn't got the players to do it. He's relying now on bringing in another striker and a stronger, the big guy Mansu, on the wing. That might get him by a wee bit. The problem he's got is he hasn't got the drive for any players in midfield. The only guy with energy in midfield, and I know there's all debates and everything else, is Devlin. The problem you got with Devlin is Devlin's a tackler. He'll win the ball back, but he likes players on either side of him. Somebody's got to hit to fire the body. The only chance we've got there is if we get your coat on one wing and this new guy on the other. Gassama and that should be out the club, and Derek's going to have to bite the bullet here. If they don't go, he's got to drop them. It's as simple as that. It's the only chance he's got, and it's the only chance we as a club have got, because too much of this nonsense, we've had it for years now. Certain fans will come out and say, oh, look at that, he done all right against St Mirren. Well, I'll tell you, Gassama done nothing against St Mirren. The last two goals that we've scored were contributed and laid on with the wee guy Yakoma. In fact, it should have been three. Chermiti missed the sitter and all. It was him that laid on all three. And you're looking at it and you're going, the wee guy's got ability. He drives forward with the ball, but he's lightweight. That's a fact. Gassama, sorry, absolute waste of space. 2 feet. He's in the seat of his pants every frigging game. That's putting it nicely. So hopefully the guy Mansu can come in. What Derek will need to do, because he's got no confidence in his centre halves, I can tell you that now. Fact. He's got to try and manoeuvre his midfield so that they can cover for the centre halves, which is a joke in itself. And if you remember right, Ox, and I heard you commenting it in the other game, Fernandez kept going like that every time he was getting the ball. He was getting frustrated. And he was holding his hands up and he's going like that to the guys in front of him. You just need to move with the ball. What was he getting? See, as soon as he gave a midfielder the ball, they were automatically giving him it back. They don't turn and face the goal. Now here's a cracker for you. I'll let you get my callers on, Ox. Wait till you hear this one. See this guy Kelsey, the big American 6'4" striker we're going for. I was listening to a pod today, and I'm not kidding you, the guy knows I'm inside out. And I was sitting with my mouth open. Do you know what he said? He's one of the best strikers you ever seen with his back to goal. I went, what? He's back to goal? That's not what we're needing. We need a flipping guy that's going to run forward with the ball and put the ball in the net. No way a guy sitting with his back to goal. The other guy that we're linked with, he's, what's his name? Ismail Balde. He's a far better player. He hits the ball with either foot and he's full of running. He's got upper body strength. If we can get the man, he's got a chance. But if he doesn't, I'm telling you now, this is going to be one terrible, terrible season because he hasn't got the personnel. You can go through that whole team and I'm telling you, the best manager in the world's going to struggle. There's no drive at all. There's nobody with any pace. And that's why you've got to rely on these wingers.
I get it, mate. I get that you're trying to make square pegs and round holes, but don't make it worse for yourself, mate. Don't make it worse.
Oh, no, listen.
You know?
Ox, I'm no standing up for McInnes. Believe you me, he's made absolutely errors of judgment. Of course he has. But the whole formality of the whole thing is he's got players there that he knows he can't trust, and that's his issue. That is his issue. There's too many players at our club, and it's getting worse by the day. Quite frankly, the recruitment's been an absolute bomb scare. We all know it. We cannot dress it up any way we want and say, well, he's got a wee bit and he's got a wee bit. They're no good. They're absolute garbage. Look at Asgard. The fastest you see him running is when he's running off a park. And I'm not criticising the guy. It's just the way it is. There's no drive for any of them. How many of them did you look at? Never even mind the night. Even in the one game we've seen a few goals was St. Mirren. See every other game. I'm being serious. I haven't watched as good at all in any game. In any game.
They weren't even great against St. Mirren. It's just that we get goals.
That's right. That's right. That's the issue. Because what he's got there's too much of what was already there, Ox. And you've said it been so started. The hardest thing in the game is getting players in, players out the door that are on big, long contracts. They don't give a monkeys as soon as they've signed that paper. And we've got that in spades now. We've got a whole squad. And I'm telling you, you're struggling to pick an 11 that you know are going to go out there and give their all. You really are. It's that difficult and it's that hard. And I'm telling you, you cannot shout for McInnes seed, Clement seed, whatever. It's not the managers. It's the recruitment team that brought these guys in. It's a shambles. If the structure's not right, you've had it.
Apart from Sterling and Barron, who come, I think everybody else that was playing the night was involved in the new recruitment. I'll get Port to check that out. I think I might be right. Miofsky came in last summer.
That's right, and they weren't his choices.
Anyway,
if you've not got choices of your players coming in, yes, sometimes you've got to be able to work and manoeuvre players as best you can. We all know that. But you need a nucleus of players that you pinpointed to bring into a club. Come on. And we've not got that.
Blue Star, you said earlier you know how McInnes wants to play. How does he want to play?
And nobody knows at the moment. Mark, we've been joined by Smurf. Evening, Smurf. How we doing, mate? He's been waiting patiently. In you come, Smurf.
Hi, Ox. Hi, boys. What I don't want to sort of add to the hysteria. No, listen. Right. I don't know where to start with that. I don't think you can lay the blame at any one department. It's holistic failure, except for the board. Derek McInnes tonight, I felt in that interview, the pitch side interview, let himself down a wee bit. He basically said at one point, I might be reading too much into it, but I don't really think I am. He basically says the only people that get pass marks for his his sort of coaching team and all that, right? Which basically he's vicariously letting himself have a hook there and all. So inadvertently blaming his players. And the fans, right? So now at this, you're about half a dozen games into his tenure, really, or games that matter. And he's already blaming his players, right? And then he lets the players off the hook and he says the team looks young. Now, I might be reading too much into it, but that to me is a dig at the board that they're not bringing in the experience that he wants or needs. Now, whether
Spot
he's
on.
right or whether he's right or whether he's wrong is an irrelevance. The fact of the matter is, we're 6 games in or whatever, there or thereabouts, and he's already blaming the board and the players. This is going to end for Derek McInnes, sadly, because I think he's a decent fella, it's going to end in tears. Period.
And you come, Mark.
but
Then,
no,
cheers,
sorry.
cheers, Spur. No, it's all right. Sorry, mate. We'll go to Mark briefly, and then we'll bring Albert, then Port Bear. On you go, Mark.
Yeah, no, I was just asking Blue Star. Like, I just do not see what McInnes is trying to do, though. That's the biggest problem I've got. And if I can't see that as a guy sitting on the couch, like, what chance have the players got? They must, because they're trying to perform this. I think it's just scattergun. Like, I agree with a lot of what was just said there in terms of picking apart that interview. You just don't know what it's not cohesive. And for me, he just needs to not go to Loch Lomond, but sit them all down together in a room and really break this out to say, this is what we're going to do. Is everyone in the same wavelength? And he needs to basically go, this is what I want to do. And everyone goes with it. And he has to step up, because I just can't see leadership there personally. There is just a gulf of leadership from the recruitment to the manager to the set pieces, everything like that, and certainly to the players in that park. I just see a lack of leadership, and guess what? That's the results we're getting.
Look, I don't want to be smart or clever. I'm just talking about the position he's playing. I know he's not playing well, but there's no many centre forwards or captains of football teams, yeah? Especially in this modern trade with who speaks to the referee, you know, and Lawrence isn't going to play weekend. He was never going to play week out for us. He was going to be an impact player and playing certain games. He could have been the club captain, yeah, because he knows about the club and he handles himself well and he's one of us. But we've not been fair to him neither. It was an error for Derek. We've just put the guy under even more pressure that he doesn't need because of where he is. But when you look at it and you look at that team tonight, you've got the centre, McCarra's got a bit of experience. Fernandez hardly played a lot of football. Penrice is relatively young. Sterling has been about for a wee while now with us, right? And in the midfield, Dan Neil at 24, captain Sunderland. Look at it, go and look at it, mate. He didn't captain him for like 2 seasons. He wore the armband. Yeah. It's like saying that Terry Butcher was captain of England. He wore it in a couple of games. He wasn't the captain for a long period. He played, but he wasn't the captain, leader. Does he look like a leader to you? The boy next to him, yeah, he's played. He's only 20. We've brought him in. Yeah. We've got him in the team. And we've got the inexperience in midfield. Then you go up to centre forward. We're right, we're getting the dairy. We've got a guy that, let's be honest, we all know Canny plays a number 10, Tucci. It's the second time we've done it under Derek. We watched that away from Poland. So him and his preparation staff will bring in Port Bear and Albert. They ain't getting everything right, mate, and they deserve a kick that he has because they're getting so much wrong. Port Bear.
Aye, couldn't agree more, mate. I think one of my biggest bugbears, as you well know, mate, was the whole thing with project players, and I still feel that we are signing project players. And you touched on it greatly when you said about Dan Neil. You know, we've only bringing in an experienced captain that was, captain, as you said, Sunderland for years and years and years. young Vanya was made captain at 20 for Partizan. But he's still in football in terms, he's still a young man. He's still growing. He's not what you call an experienced captain. And this was all part of changing the culture of the club. And not just to slam, McInnes, mate. We've got a coach for Falkirk. We've got a coach, sort of ex-manager for Partick Thistle. Is that really Rangers standard? Is that what we are? Is that the levels that we are looking at to take our club forward next year? Is that the
Graham
level
brought in,
that we need?
Graham brought in an assistant manager for Dundee United, mate. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, I get that, mate. But Walter Smith is different gravy, mate. Walter Smith had
Aye,
served under
hindsight,
Jim
mate.
McLean, and yeah. But he still served under Jim McLean, had a good apprenticeship. Jim McLean was one of the top managers in the game. So he came with a lot of experience, and then came in under Graham Souness for several years, and then deservedly got the job, and it was a success. But if we're going to keep bringing in project players, mate, and adding the experience, now I've been asking. Blue Star touched on it in regard to the spiny team. I was asking for experienced pros through the spine of the team. And I don't mind seeing projects, Oxford, as long as I've got experience around them to help
Funny
them
enough,
develop and
funny
understand
you
their
should
club.
mention that. Funny you should mention that. I got an email with Fox asking for the exact same thing, but I think it was a different site. Albert.
Aye, definitely. Fund me page, aye. Look, McInnes needs to realise what he's got here. I mean, every manager, all the managers we've had, they've all had the same excuse. We've not their own players, or I've not got what I need. Well, a good manager, a good coach, sits down and looks what he's actually got, and then works it out for there. So what he's need to do, instead of talking to the players and getting all them together, first of all, he needs to sit down with his coaching staff and say, right, we've been here for X amount of months, weeks, months, whatever it is. We've had a look at the players. We know who will go, we know who's leaving, and we know who's coming in, right? What kind of style of play just suits these players? That's what he needs to ask himself. Not what he wants to play, what suits these, what can they play, in other words. So they're not just saying, oh, we want to be a possession-based team when most of them can't pass a ball 6 yards, you know what I mean? So you're sitting looking at going, right, what are you going to be? We can't be a counter-attack team because we've no legs. So you need to work out what kind of team you're going to be with to suit the players you've actually got. And that's what's not happening, mate. I don't know what we're trying to do here. He admitted there in his interview, we don't know what we're doing. He's saying we don't know we're attacking team, possession-based team, pressing team, or what we are. So he needs to work this out, and you only do that with the ability you've got. So it's like it's putting a money in a Formula One race. There's no point in putting money in a Formula One race because it's never going to win the race, is it? And I didn't see a team of winners out there tonight either. I didn't see any individual out there that I went, oh, he's not happy. He's gone mental. I just seen a team individuals out there that just accepted defeat. Quite merrily just accepted it. They just walked off that park. Two boys from tears because they missed the penalties. But that's understandable. But there is just much after that. Well, we'll get beat, that's it. Oh well, what are you doing tomorrow? Oh, you want to go for a pint tomorrow? Well, we'll see time we get back tonight. We'll work out what we're going to be doing. That's what it looked to me, mate. It just looked like nobody's that bothered. Oh, we're out of Europe. Oh, so what? It's a big thing, mate. It's a real big thing. That mob get pumped the other night and drop into the FA Cup. Now they're still going to make more money than we're going to make because we can't even qualify for the conference. How? I mean, this is rock bottom now in Europe for us now. Mate. This is us rock bottom. We can't even qualify for the Conference League. Think about that. That is ridiculous, mate. To where we were in Europe, to where we are now in the last 5-6 years. What a drop
it's been a rapid decline. Listen, if you talk about the recruitment, just out of curiosity, we mentioned Walter and Graham Souness came in, and we weren't competing for leagues and that before Graham came in, if I'm being honest, mate. And the team that won the league at Pittodrie had only 4 signings. 7 of the players were there under the previous manager and were failing. And then all of a sudden, only 4. But they happened to be Chris Woods, Graham Roberts, Terry Butcher, and Graham Souness himself, mate. The other seven were all at the club, and the average age of the team was 26 years of age, mate. That's a young team, mate. That's a young team. We limited. We talk about leadership. There's none there, mate. They're too young, too inexperienced. And you look at that forward line tonight. You've got a boy who's come in from Japan, who it's good to watch in certain games at Ibrox when you get the ball up. On a 4-4-2, mate, because he's that deep. He's never going to influence the play. He's not going to get the ball 10 yards in his half and skip. He's going to be effective when you get it up to him at the edge of the box. It's so obvious.
Spot on.
Yeah, you know. And listen, I don't want to blow me in trumpet, but if Derek wants to give us a phone tomorrow, I'll get myself talking out and I can help him sort it out, mate. You know, because some of it is so obvious, you know. And if he doesn't know it, we've got bigger problems than we think, Blue Star. Because some of it, we're all agreeing on. Tucci playing as a number 10. Come on. Why even try it?
Absolutely.
If you're honest, mate. If you're honest, you might as well start.
100% spot on. And Albert was bang on the money there. He was. He's got to sit down now and say, right, that one, and that one. No matter your name, no matter your worth, I've given you chances and you're not showing up. As Albert says, he's got to get his nucleus. He's got to get what he thinks is his best defence. He's got a problem there. Now, they're the classic one there. First signing we brought in, Ben Godfrey. Now, I'm sorry, as soon as I looked up, I went, I've heard that name before. His record stinks to high heaven. Injury prone, yet again. And you're looking at it and you're going, the first signing you should have made was centre half, a stalwart, a big experienced guy, no nonsense. Up the spine of the team, and we've still not got it. So as Albert says, he's bang on. He's got to look at these guys and say, right, whether I think these ones are great or no, at least they've shown up. They're doing what I'm asking, and he does that. That's what he's got to do. Whether it's going to get him the best results or no, he's got to stick with it until he gets players in that he knows he can trust and they're willing to do what he wants them to do. It's as simple as that. He needs a defence. He sticks with the back four that he thinks is the best that he's got available to him. He works for him. He puts his midfield in. We all know what he's going to play. He wants a 4-3-3. He's already decided he wants to play with two wingers. I don't know whether that'll work yet because we haven't seen this new boy coming in. But other than that, if it's 4-4-2, it depends on the striker he brings in because he hasn't got that now. And it's all right, everybody's saying, well, look at that. Shanklin brings him in and he's not getting games. Listen, you could put Super up there, didn't and it would be the exact same. There's no chance he's getting put into the box. Shanklin's not a guy that's running about all over the park. He's a penalty box player, so he couldn't play him. But who's the only other striker he's got that can move about? Everybody will say, oh, well, you could try Miovski. Something happened there as well. He's wanting away. So you're left with Nadiri. We all know he's not got the class. A blind man can see it. So he's got to stick with the guys that he thinks he can trust. With these new ones, whoever they are coming in, hopefully they'll make a difference. And he's got to stick with the ones that he thinks he can trust until he can get other ones out. Once again, Ox, your bugbear, to get all that dross out the door because there's too much yet, mate.
Well, Blue Star,
Yeah.
see the squad that sits at the moment. The squad that sits at the moment, I don't know how many players there. Say there's 26 players. I don't know how many's there. 30 players, whatever it is. He needs to split this squad up. Because if somebody said a few weeks ago that the squad's too big, so when you're trying to get your ideas out, you can skip too many players. He needs to split the squad up and say, right, I'm going to split these into two. The players I want, the players I'm going to build my team around, yous are all coming and yous are all day shift training. See the other ones, yous are actually got a chance to come back into that squad, but most of these will be gone. So yous are going to come in the afternoon to train and split the two squads and just say to your
100%.
Your coaching staff, the ones in the afternoon, you go to train them, but we're concentrating the ones that we want to keep and start working with them and get them into some sort of team, some sort of shape, some sort of
you saying to me,
gelling.
be everybody's pal? Is that what you're saying to me?
Exactly, mate. You've got to split them up and say, we don't want you. Tell your agents to get you at the club. We want to sell you.
Bang on.
If you
Bang
can't-
on,
if you can't
Albert.
get out- It's just so nicey altogether nonsense. It's not working, mate. You're wasting your time
Yep.
with players that you don't really want. I mean, Barron, Cameron, and Miofsky. If you look at their faces on the bench, mate, they're all McCausland. They're all peed off, mate. They're no buying into this. They're all peed off because they're no wanted. They shouldn't be on the bench. If you've not got 9 players to put on the bench, we'll put what you've got on the bench. But they'll be all the ones that want to play. You're keeping your one to work with. I just don't get all this nicey nonsense. No, I mean you're just
you're
you're
not
making a
like me,
rod
Albert,
for your
you're
own
not a
back.
nice guy. That's because you're
No,
not
I'm
a nice
not.
guy like myself, you know. Right,
No, I'm
okay.
not nice.
I'm glad we can laugh. I don't feel like it. Listen, we're going to wind up the show. We're going to go round and get everybody's last word. So I'll start with Mark. Great to hear from you, Mark. Do us a favour, mate. Try and call him when it's good, eh?
Well, I typically just get so annoyed I need to vent. My last words, like, at least they can't ruin my Thursday nights anymore. Deadpan.
No bad, mate. No bad. Smurf, sorry we didn't hear from you much, but it's been an interesting show, brother.
No, thanks for having us. My last words will be, I think Cammy Devlin and Lawrence Shanklin will be the nail in his coffin. It's show business. It's not show friends.
I would have took this. I would have signed it to him. I would have took Shanklin a few years ago, mate. But knows your main striker. Everybody's look, mate. He can't run. He can't run. Never could.
And the wee boy that missed the penalty, it was in tears. Why do you know put him in as a number 10 tonight? Get a shot away. Just can't understand it.
You get some shots and you get some effort, and your midfield then play with Chugwani playing his natural position. It's
You get one at the number 8. I know it's brainless. It's just brainless.
Cheers, mate. Good to hear from you. Blue Star.
He's exactly what Albert said. He's bang on there. He's got to get the nucleus of the guys he knows he can work with and he can get the best out of. See the rest, no matter what big name they are or anything, it's got to say, well, you find another club. We're late now in the window. You don't. You're not playing unless you show me you're going to go out there and you're giving your all. It's as simple as that. But he's also got to say to Kavanagh with the recruitment side, honestly, Ox, somebody's got to grab a hold of Kavanagh and say, look, these 3 guys, they've already proved their failures. You can't keep spending that kind of money and bringing in players that haven't even got the basics of your game, drive, personality. We've not got that. He's got to have work there. Absolutely. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. Albert.
It's one of the nights, isn't it, mate? This is one of the nights of a big long list of lights we've had for the last 16 years. It's another failure, an abject failure this time, but it is what it is. Now we've got the rest of the season to concentrate on the Scottish game. A lot of people think that's going to cure us. I'm not so sure, mate. I think this team needed all the games they could get to try and get them gelled. They don't need less games, they need more games. But anyway, we're just going to keep going, mate. We carry on and support, mate. We carry on and support. We're not going to be quiet, but we'll carry on and support. Anyway, that's it, mate, for me.
Port Bear. Cheers for doing the show, mate, in difficult circumstances. It ain't fun.
It's never easy, mate, coming on after a result, a bad result, but when it's as bad as that, you know, and you heard the calls tonight that were outstanding. A lot of truth spoke, mate. When you're as low as this, mate, there's only one way to go, and that's up. So I'm just hoping there's improvement, mate. And like the boys touched on, the Scottish League is all I've got to play for now. And these guys have got to show some next year. These guys have got to show something soon.
I don't think they care, mate, and I think that's the point that some of the boys are making, mate. You know, and the ones we've brought in at daycare, mate, ultimately they're not showing that they've got the ability. You know, Shanklin's
Aye,
been poor.
yeah.
Young Barron's running about. Young Curtis, he loves the club. He loves playing for the club. He gives you everything you got. But his decision making, you know, he looked when Mace threat down the right. Three in a row, he overhit the cross, mate. Overhit the cross. Actually cleared it.
I know.
You know, it's just that touch and that decision making that it separates you and move up to the next level. His heart and desire, never fault him, never fault him. Right, listen, thanks to everybody who took the time to join us Rangers Radio night. We couldn't get everybody in the night, and we couldn't get a lot of our new callers in. Thanks for taking the time and the effort. Why? But listen, thanks to everybody. Thanks to Port Bear. Thanks to Allbear. Thanks to Blue Star. Thanks to Mark. Thanks to Smurf. Thanks to Cal. Thanks to Ross for Sweden. And thanks to everybody who joined us. You know, everybody's saying a lot of the similar things, and it ain't good, mate. But let's think about it rationally. When Amora comes, maybe it's time we need to get our shoulder to the wheel. But I don't know how we do it, mate, because we ain't in a good place. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for always doing the show. This has been Rangers Radio, and I suppose the Quincy will carry on tomorrow night. We come back at 8 o'clock. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.